welcome back to another edition of Biology Lately. I thought I would update you on some of the cool things that we're doing in this new unit that we're in. The last episode of Biology Lately included all the things we were doing in cells. This one is Unit 3 now, and we are in the topics of photosynthesis and cellular respiration. This unit can sometimes be a little dry, so I've been trying to do everything I can to get the kids excited and moving and motivated as best we can do it together. Okay, so first up, let's cover photosynthesis. Yeah. So things that we've been doing in class, we made these fun little models to represent photosynthesis, and all of the arrows are all of the parts of photosynthesis that happen on the external tissues and the external structures of the plant. And then you go inside the leaf, and it's hard to see, but you have all these little chloroplasts and all these little fun spaces. So all the arrows, you can see some stuff's coming in, some stuff's going out. Pretty neat. So anyway, this was great. The kids really liked it. I think Riley did a really good in first hour colored coded version, and hers just looked amazing. Mine doesn't even look close to as cool as hers does. So good job, Riley. And then coming up, I wanted to share with you this cool lab that you can do at home or wherever with any age group. It doesn't matter. The whole reason I even remembered is because I was talking to the kids about chlorophyll, and they asked me out of curiosity, hey, Engel, out of curiosity, why do the leaves change color anyway? And that was like the best moment when kids are curious, right? Like I'm always trying to just, you don't really learn best when someone's like, sit down, learn this. You're always trying to spark them, right? Trying to get them to think deeper, think differently, do something new. And they were like, hey, why do they change colors? And I was like, well, good topic. So in deciduous trees in this region, what happens is chlorophyll A is one of the green ones, and it's the main pigment that pushes through in the leaf, and it's the one that we really see. But there's all these accessory pigments hiding in the background, waiting for their time to shine. And a lot of them are there the whole time, just waiting for their moment. But chlorophyll is really dominant because chlorophyll is the one that powers through photosynthesis, which is what the plant needs for survival. So as the daylight changes, right, and the days get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, it signals the trees that hibernation needs to start coming soon, right? Because that means that cold weather, winter, all of that's going to be coming soon. And a photosynthetic tree cannot survive the winter if its leaves stay perfectly green and healthy, because ultimately they have these glands and it will freeze the water in the tree and they will freeze to death. So I told them that in the fall, chlorophyll, it like degrades and like kind of breaks down, right? But what happens is it's the accessory pigment's time to shine. It's this beautiful moment where those xanthophylls and those carotenoids, they get to shine. And so you get those xanthophylls are traditionally yellow. It's the same type of pigment that makes bananas yellow. And then carotenoids, like a carrot, are a pigment that results in orange or red tints. And so they get to shine and they get to come to the forefront. And you can finally see all these beautiful colors that have been in hiding this whole time. And it makes, the most beautiful rainbow of an environment we can ever imagine. And it's just such a joy to walk around Northwest Arkansas in the fall and just be blessed with all of its beauty every day. And yes, as a nerd, I'm like, look at those carotenoids. I know the normal average person doesn't do that. But now the kids know. Now the kids know that it's always been there hiding. So a lab you can do with your little ones at home, or literally anyone, any age group, old, young, doesn't matter. I'm going to do it with my toddler son so he can see it. Is he going to understand it? Probably not, but that's okay. I get to make a rainbow out of a leaf, and that's cool. So what you need coffee filters. And you cut them into strips, and then you go collect leaves. And this is the best part, right? Especially right now in the fall. So go get a slew, like get a bunch of different colors. If you find leaves that have multiple colors on them at once, definitely take those. Make sure one of them's orange. Find one that's bright red. Get one that's really yellow, and then try to find a green one with this. So you cut your coffee filters into strips, okay? And then you take the leaf, and basically you get like I use a quarter, and you just roll the quarter over the leaf, and try not to tear the leaf or the paper, right? And so you just roll. You don't really want to go back and forth. You want to kind of just press, and it'll get some of those accessory pigments where that chlorophyll, the juice from the leaf, will soak into the coffee filter. This next part, you either need rubbing alcohol or nail polish remover, right? Acetone. And so what you do is you build a structure where they have lots of pictures on the internet. It's super easy to do. After you've done the whole little, back and forth with the leaf, you'll get like a little cup, just a little tiny cup, and like a pen or a pencil, and you'll wrap that strip of paper. You'll tape it kind of like that. And then here's my cup. You'll put just the edge, just barely the edge. You'll put that rubbing alcohol or that acetone down in the cup, and then you'll barely touch that coffee filter to the very top of the acetone or the rubbing alcohol. And so what'll happen is that acetone or the rubbing alcohol will, through capillary action, go up the coffee filter, and it'll take all of those pigments that are in that juice from the leaf that you made, and it'll pull them up the coffee filter. So I put some samples over here so you can see how cool it really can be. You never know what colors are hiding inside that leaf. Like, obviously a green leaf, you think, okay, that's probably green, but sometimes they hold little secrets that are so much more rewarding. So if you look at the sample, here's a predominantly just green leaf, and you can see it's even got different shades of green. And then you take one, and it's hard for y'all to see, but up on top of these shelves, I've got some house plants. And so you can see that it's got two different shades of chlorophyll. It's got chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. And so you've got a dark green one, and then kind of almost like a yellowish green one. And then because we're entering fall, I thought I would include these two at the end. This one is not necessarily what I would, I can't really tell what kind of plant it is, but I don't think that's a deciduous one. But it's still really neat. And you can see that it's pulled that purple, that violet when it got to the top. And then at the very end, it's got one that's got really pink and red pigments. Some leaves are actually naturally purple. And so those are really fun to do too. But it's amazing. Now, let me know if you do it. I'm really excited. I would love to see pictures of your results if you want to engage in this. And I mean, we all have rubbing alcohol laying around under our sink or in a medicine cabinet. A lot of us, have some acetone laying around underneath the sink, and it works really, really well. Now, remember, don't let the little kids around acetone or rubbing alcohol, unsupervised, right? If you can, try to find some protective eye gear so it doesn't splash in your eye. And parents, if you want to do it on the behalf of the littles, that would be really great. But anyway, they'll love it. I promise they'll love it. All right, onward to cellular respiration. So we are entering cellular respiration, which is how our cells make energy. So everything you're doing every day, even when you feel exhausted, you're still being powered by ATP, which is like this inner battery that you are creating every time you eat. So today we learned about anaerobic cellular respiration, which is cellular respiration when oxygen is not present. This can happen in the human body when we create lactic acid due to exercise. And that acid is made because we are starving our muscles of oxygen by doing something cardiovascularly. A real aerobic, like you're running, you're jumping, you're lifting really heavy, you're doing air squats, you're doing something to cause your body to not be able to take in enough oxygen as those muscles need. So today we warmed up with just a couple of jumping jacks or air squats, or you could walk or run in place. We warmed up those muscles first so that we could reduce any chance of injury. And then I gave the kids some options. I said, you can do wall sits, you can do planks, high plank or low plank, or you can do the squeezy. And so what you'll do is you'll get like a tennis ball or a stress reliever. I'll just use my timer, and you hold your arm out straight. And so it should look like a straight line. So from the side, you hold it out flat. If your arm's up here, you're cheating. If your arm's down here, you're cheating. You need to hold it flat. Take something in your hand and make sure you're holding it in a fist and hold it out. And you try to time how long that you can hold something just flat like that while squeezing it in a fist. It's a while, but those shoulders start to burn pretty quick. So I gave them options on what they wanted to do. Obviously, this one is like the least invasive. So some kids chose that. Some of my more kids that were ultra competitive, they chose wall sits and planks for their choices. And I said, okay, well, I will time everyone, and then I will keep the data and see what's what. So Today I got to time my 8A kids, so that's first period and fourth period. And here are some of our records in both. I was floored. I cannot do these things near as long as these children. They are so impressive. In first hour, Riley, she did amazing. She did a wall sit, y'all, for 35 minutes and 8 seconds. Like, I was expecting okay, about 10 minutes, you're going to fall and we'll move on and it'll be great. And I mean, about 10 minutes, everyone else had definitely fallen in the wall sit and just kind of slid on their little bottoms onto the floor. And Riley, I don't know, Riley, I think you're secretly made of steel. You're like a superwoman. You're a superhero. Riley made it 35 minutes and I would never cut her off. I mean, at this point, it was worth it just to see how long she could go and how much lactic acid she could endure. Riley is part of our cross-country team for 9th grade girls. Riley, you are amazing, sister. Woo! I don't know how you did that. Now, in fourth hour today, Jordan Foster, he was our champion in fourth hour. He made it 10 minutes and 16 seconds. I think the remaining record from all last year was something like 12 minutes. And so Riley, I don't think anyone will ever touch your record again. I never thought anyone would get there in the first place. And y'all, her form was amazing. You want to talk about 90 degrees and a wall sit, your legs in a 90-degree angle? Woo, girl. Okay. Planks, I gave them the choice of doing a high plank, right, where you're like this in a push-up form and you're just holding yourself up, or you could do a low plank on those forearms. The whole goal is to keep your body flat. If you're doing a high plank, you're kind of at an incline. If you're doing a low plank, you should be flat. So the goal in that is to keep that butt down. When you get tired, you kind of tend to bend that butt up in the air to give your abs some relief. So you're always butt down. So the goal is for plankers to keep a very flat thing and engage that core. So in planks, our champion is Ashlyn. Ashlyn is in first hour, and she held an 8-minute plank, y'all. Are you kidding? When I get to 60 seconds, I'm like, woo! So Ashlyn, you are an amazingly strong woman, girl. All right. And then in fourth hour, we had Luke, and Luke held his for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and that was the longest in fourth hour. And so I was amazed. In first hour, both of our champions were women, and in fourth hour, both of our champions were men. And so we are all tied up going into next week. B-Day kids, you will get your chance next week to try and do one of these activities and feel that lactic acid buildup. Now, just in case you thought I was torturing children with lactic acid, afterwards we talked about how to stretch properly, what's a good way to stretch, what's a bad way to stretch, and how to breathe. And you would think breathing, people know how to breathe, right? The good breathing that comes with stretching is called belly breathing. A lot of you, if you're into yoga, know about belly breathing. You take a big inhale through your nose and you push your belly out. A lot of people, when they breathe in, they want to hold their belly in and suck in. That's not how you're supposed to do this. So when you inhale, you push your belly out and you're trying to extend that torso and stand tall, right? And then you exhale through your mouth. So when you want to inhale 5 to 7 seconds. So it's a slow inhale. And then you hold 1, 2, 3, and then you exhale through your mouth for 5 seconds. You do this about 5 times. 1, you're in a much better mood. You're much calmer. So if you ever have anxiety, belly breathing, I would really recommend it. And 2, your heart rate is lowered. So after a run, a lot of people sometimes want to fall to the floor and be like, I'm so tired. That's not what you should do. That's the bad thing. You need to keep moving. You need to walk around wherever you are and keep just moving a little bit, not moving very fast, but moving a little bit and keeping those muscles going and doing this big belly breathing. This big belly breathing, what's so beneficial about it is you're sucking in a ton of oxygen and you're oxygenating your bloodstream. And then when you're exhaling, you're forcefully blowing a lot of carbon dioxide out. And so all that carbonic acid that kind of builds up over time, you're blowing it out. Oxygen destroys lactic acid. That's the point of oxygen, because lactic acid is an anaerobic process, it's an anaerobic product. And so when you introduce oxygen back to those muscles, it breaks down and carries away the lactic acid. So after a workout, you should always take time, 1, to do a cool down of at least about 5 minutes, and always stretch after doing big, deep breaths. After about 5 to 7 belly breaths, you should return your breath to normal. I recommend belly breathing before you go to bed if you struggle trying to go to sleep at night. It's very calming. Anyway, as usual, your kids are amazing. I love these guys so much. They're just, these kids they're just great. Like, I'm so blessed. So I really enjoyed A-Day today. It was very enriching, and we called them hype people, hype men, hype women. And so if someone fell, I told them, your responsibility is to pump up the people that are still going and be so uplifting to them. And y'all, they were so sweet. Like, you want to talk about, just like a pure moment of friendship. It was beautiful, especially for Riley. By the time it was over, the whole class was telling her, like, go, go, go. Like, you're doing so well. Like, you're amazing. You're fantastic. Like, it was such a good moment. You don't always see teenagers being super, super kind and loving to one another. And so it was sweet for me. Okay. Thank you for letting me share my heart with you and coming to biology lately. And if you're a child watching this, if you're one of my students, thank you for being amazing and making my job fantastic every single day. I am so lucky to have you as my student. So thank you so much, everyone, and enjoy your day. Bye.